If you haven't heard of ChatGPT yet, then my friend, you are behind the times. You have to check this out. It is artificial intelligence similar to something like Google, where you can just type in any question, but instead of it populating websites, it's going to give you answers, and sometimes very specific answers to any question that you might have, especially in the personal development space. So I've been playing with this now for the past couple months, typing in different things, and of course I came to the point where, well, let's see what happens when you type in asking dating advice questions. In just a bit here, I'm gonna show you some questions that I asked ChatGPT, and I based the questions on my highest viewed YouTube videos. I took those titles, I entered them into ChatGPT, and then I wanted to see what kind of answers they would give me to decipher, is this quality dating advice? Is this advice that actually get results? Or is it something that just doesn't really do much for you? As smart as ChatGPT is right now, it gives some very questionable answers into some of the biggest dating advice questions that a lot of guys have. So right now, I'm gonna take you through that and show you exactly what it said to some of the biggest questions. All right, let's dive in. So the first thing I asked was, where should I touch a girl before I kiss her? Let's see what ChatGPT said. It's important to remember that everyone is different and has different comfort levels when it comes to physical touch. It's important to respect a person's boundaries. Okay. If you're in a situation where you're thinking about kissing a girl, it's best to start with non-intimate touches such as a hug or holding hands. All right. As you progress in the interaction and get a sense of her comfort level, you can move on to more intimate touches such as touching her arm or shoulder. It's also important to pay attention to verbal and nonverbal cues to gauge her comfort level and to make sure she's receptive to your touch before going in for a kiss. Remember that communication is key. It's always best to ask for consent before initiating any kind of physical touch. All right, so I would give this advice probably like a D. Okay, so you want to, so this is good here. Yes, you want to gauge her cues. I would say this is the only good piece of advice in this question. If you start to touch her, if you touch her arm or you get close to her and you can tell that she's not being receptive, she's probably not going to be receptive for a kiss. So yeah, this is good. You can tell though that the ChatGPT is pretty politically correct, and I understand why it would probably want to be. It's got to be careful of the advice it gives. But here's the problem. You can't ask for consent before initiating any kind of physical touch. That's going to be very strange to break the touch barrier. Let's say if you wanted to just gently touch her arm for a second, or even going for a hug. It is a weird social thing to do, to ask consent before you do that. That's going to make you look not confident and just weird. Now, it says it's best to start with non-intimate touches such as a hug or holding hands. This is very generic advice, and that's the problem with ChatGPT, at least what it is now. It's like you might not be doing that before a kiss. There's been plenty of instances where I've gone for a kiss, my clients have gone for a kiss, and there's actually been no touching at all. On the touch barrier hasn't been broken. So just not amazing advice here. Okay, but let's go to the next one. So how do you make a girl squirt? All right. So it got a little bit flagged here. It says it may violate content policy. So right now, if you're asking questions that are about sex or anything sexual, it clearly has an issue with it. So that's going to be a problem there. It says here it's not appropriate or respectful to try and make someone do something they are not comfortable with. Yes, that is true. Everyone has different preferences. Yes. Again, it's not really answering the question. Yes, this is correct. People do have different sexual preferences. Important to note that not all people with vaginas are able to squirt or ejaculate. Yes, that is true. It's an ongoing scientific study. It's not fully understood. That is mostly true. And rather than focusing on trying to make someone do something specific. So you're going to see here, and I've learned that ChatGPT has a problem with the word make. Whenever you put the word make in there, they are flagging it in a way that they want to make sure that you're not forcing anything, which again, of course, that's good. But I'm not really sure another way to even ask that type of question, at least not off the bat. Open and honest communication, yes. Okay, again, it's all about consent, and that's all great. I agree. You're not going to just do this without consent, but it's not answering the question. So, not sure what's going to happen in the future, but nothing's happening here, at least with ChatGPT, with anything sexual. All right. So then I asked how to text a girl you like. This is a big one. Let's see what it says here. Start with a friendly greeting. Begin the conversation with a simple hello or how's it going. So before I go into the rest of this, I'm just going to say it does give you the advice. It does say the things that you should do in order for texting a girl. But the problem with this versus a dating coach is someone like me is going to say to you, and I have in many videos, that you don't want to really be focusing on texting a girl you like. You want to be focusing on, well, at least it gives sort of a number 7 here, don't overdo it, but you want to make sure you're asking them out. It doesn't say anything here about that. It just lets you do it because it's just answering the question that you asked. So it has to give you some information. So it says, be friendly, be positive and upbeat, okay, sure, ask open-ended questions. See, no, this is not what you want to do. This is why this is bad advice. You don't want to ask any open-ended questions. You don't want to get to know someone over text. That's not going to help build attraction. There's more room for error. Be responsive. Yeah, that's great. Try to respond to her text in a timely manner and keep the conversation flowing. No, this is a fail all across the board. Big fail. No, you don't want to be texting right away or texting back or a timely manner. You should be texting whenever you want. If you're busy, you're busy. You don't need to be thinking about, ChatGPT said I got to be responsive. I got to do that. That's not good. Blah, 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 blah. So, this is the only decent piece of advice. You don't want to send too many, but really you don't want to send too much at all. Okay, let's go to another one. I said how to French kiss a girl to make her want more. Kind of got flagged a little bit. Says it's an intimate and romantic act. Okay, cool. Few tips for French kissing. I would give this like an A-. Pretty solid. Start slowly. Yep. Use your hands. Yep. Use your tongue. Yep. Stay in the moment. Yep. Be respectful. Yep. Be sure you both are comfortable with this level of intimacy. Yeah. Communication is key. This is the only one that's a little weird. Like, we're not going to talk open and honestly with your partner about what feels good with kissing. You just kind of know. You just figure that out. There's no conversation that needs to be had. And let's see. Yeah. Consensual. I don't really think asking for consent for a kiss is a good thing to do. I think that actually just makes it sort of strange and weird. But other than that, I will say this is the best advice I've seen so far on anything with dating advice for guys. All right, so I have another one called How to Hug a Girl and Escape the Friend Zone. So that was one of the titles I used. Now it defines what a hug is. It says it's not appropriate to try and escape the friend zone by using physical touch without clear and enthusiastic consent. Again, I agree with consent, but it just depends on what we're talking about here. A hug, I don't think, needs a consent. I think there's ways to do it in a very confident way that a woman is going to like. The whole thing is, and I'd be saying this, which I'm saying to you, you're not going to hug a girl that you don't know, or you're not getting some cues that you feel it's comfortable to do so. So that's the whole idea, not verbally asking for it. And then it goes on. The whole thing is not even how to hug. It's just asking permission, being respectful, being genuine, communicating. It's not answering the question. So then I went and said, but physically, what should the hug look like? Okay. So big fail here. I said, what should the hug look like? And then it gives you the different types of hugs: friendly hug, romantic hug, comforting hug, kind of obvious stuff. But in the video that I have of what the hug should look like, I give very specific examples of the idea of putting your body closer to hers, and also what a hug doesn't look like. That is weird, right? So I guess you can kind of get the idea here. It's like, oh, well, you wouldn't want to do a friendly hug, so you wouldn't do the quick and simple hug with the pat in the back. So that is true. Comforting hug, well, this could potentially be one that is avoiding the friend zone or what the hug should look like, but it's just unclear. That's kind of the problem here. So then I went to the next one. What's a powerful trick to make a girl want you? Because I have a video called Powerful Trick to Make a Girl Want You. And it just goes on saying, don't trick someone. Attraction and desire are complex. Don't make someone want you. See, it has a problem with make. Doesn't like the word make because it's very forceful. Show genuine interest in getting to know them. Yes. Be confident in yourself. Yes. I actually like this advice. I'm going to give this one like a C plus, maybe a B minus. Like, yeah, okay, be confident. That's good. Believe in yourself. Don't settle for anything less than someone who truly wants to be with you. I actually love that advice. That is very good. Everyone has different preferences. Yes, obviously. Instead of trying to trick or manipulate someone into wanting you, focus on being the best version of yourself. I do agree with that. Be respectful and kind. So the reason why I'm still giving it a low rating is like, well, it's not answering the question. Like, how do I make her want me? How do I become the guy who's attractive? It's just very watered down. I think that's the problem. I have used ChatGPT for other things before and other advice in other areas and actually gave very specific examples. Now, I know I've also heard in order to really get the most out of ChatGPT, it's about how to use it properly and ask the right questions. But still, I wouldn't know how to ask some of these questions in any other way. Maybe how to become a guy who's attractive to women. But what should I say to flirt with a girl? So I want lines. I want to know what to say. And so it gave me compliment, use humor. Okay, humor is good. Compliment's bad. You don't want to compliment a woman. She's heard it before. It doesn't actually aid in building attraction. Show interest. Okay, ask her questions about herself and actively listen. Yes, that is good. Be confident. Yes. Be respectful. Duh. Be genuine. Yes. But again, it's not giving me anything. So then I say, specifically word for word, what should I say to flirt? I'm like, all right, let's get something going here. And what does it do? It gives me all these examples that are so simpy. Have a great sense of style. I love your smile. I find you interesting. Tell me more about your hobbies. I find you attractive. I can't stop thinking about you. Like, oh, this is the worst. Don't ever say this. I don't care what, there's no exceptions. It's showing too much interest that women don't like. This is going to turn her off. So, yeah, I would just give ChatGPT a very poor rating so far on how to give proper dating advice that actually works. I'm just seeing a lot of politically correct statements, but you have to understand what's going to work and what doesn't. It's like good luck using some of these things. I doubt it's going to take you too far. Maybe it's a very small start, but it's not the details you really need. But I'm curious to see where it goes.